Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our preview and early expectation theories for Grey's Anatomy Season 16, Episode 16. An episode that the grocery stores are going to be out of tissues in preparation for. This is going to be tough. This is going to be really, really tough. There's no sugarcoating this at all.
No, we've known it's been coming for a long time. They've been hinting at this for a long time, obviously, because they knew that Justin had left, that there was going to be a time where we were going to actually have to say goodbye to Alex, and the time is coming.
Yeah, this episode is entitled Leave a Light On. The promo actually mentions it specifically. This is a final goodbye. There aren't seemingly any plans for Karev to come back after all of this. So I think we're left to wonder, how is he going to leave? What is it going to look like? What's the impact? We will try our best to offer some theories in here. But before we do, if you do enjoy this discussion, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. But let's start with the title, because I think you had a pretty interesting observation as to what this could mean.
Yeah, so leave a light on, or leave the light on, or leave a light on the porch. That sort of feeling of, I know you're coming home at some time, so I'll leave a light on for you so you can see when you come home, put your key in the door, and come on back. So that idea makes it feel like he's not actually going to just be leaving her. And like we saw in this last episode where Joe had a breakdown when Link came over with the donuts, that she was just like, oh my goodness, like he's left me. And because she has some abandonment issues, it totally makes sense that that's the first thing that she's going to go to. He's been gone all this time. He's not returning any calls. He's not returning any texts. And she already feels this inside of her. So, oh my God, he's left me, of course, is where she's going to go with this. But after him being on the show for as long as he has, I just don't feel like this is where we're going to go. This feels like it's a misdirect. I can't see him. They just renewed their vows. Their relationship is so strong that he's just going to, I'm just going to leave. Bye. Not going to call. I'm going to ghost you. You're my wife, but I'm just going to disappear and sayonara. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
It makes zero sense. And the idea of them making Alex into someone who would do that, and not just to Joe, who obviously is his great love, but I mean, he also has other people who he loves in his life. I mean, Meredith.
And also to us, as viewers, we've followed this story of his forever, that then they would just kind of make him be this jerk who's just gonna drop his wife and not call her and ghost her. Like, I don't think that's where we're going.
Yeah, and then not respond to Meredith, one of his best friends in the world who he has known for over a decade. It just, there are too many things about that feel really, really weird. And I just feel like the writers, Krista Vernoff, they have to have an idea of, okay, we don't want Justin's decision to sort of come back where we're going to make Alex into somebody who is very unlikable and just it completely just destroys all of the memories that we had of him. But I mean, the obvious problem here is, how do you write off this character in a way that sort of explains everything that's happened, whether it be him not responding or him supposedly going to Iowa and never actually making it there?
Well, mixed with that he never actually made it there, and the name of the episode, Leave a Light On, it's making me wonder if it wasn't that he planned to go somewhere else and he lied. More so, maybe he never made it there. So maybe it was a situation where he told Joe, you know what, I'm going to go see my mom. Okay, cool. Maybe he didn't tell his mom he's coming. That sometimes happens. You just pop up and you're like, hey, I'm here. So maybe he didn't tell her. So that would have meant then that his mom would not have called Joe to say, hey, Alex was supposed to be here and he never showed up. There was no reason for her to do that. So her saying, oh, well, he was never here. Okay, maybe he was on his way there and something happened along the way. And I'm not necessarily saying he's dead, because we did see the ... when he was writing Meredith, but we don't know exactly for sure. I feel like 95% sure that it was Alex, but maybe it's not, and it was somebody else had his phone. Is it possible he got robbed? I mean, we don't know what happened.
Yeah, it is possible he got robbed, he got kidnapped, but I mean, I think the question that I would have then is that, okay, if Alex was robbed and kidnapped, Joe has seemingly wrote him a number of times, and we haven't seen any evidence of a ... with Joe.
It's true.
So I feel pretty confident. I'm probably about like 98% that it was Alex who had the phone at the time in which he was typing that. I think then the question then just becomes, okay, why write Meredith and not write Joe? And I don't have a clear answer to that right now, other than just that maybe he felt like there was something he could tell Meredith that he couldn't tell Joe.
Well, that's the thing. They have Joe is his wife, so if he actually is leaving her, or there's something that was happening that he couldn't explain to her, then he might be able to tell someone who's his close friend.
So, I mean, the obvious answer that he's dead, it's still something we have to entertain. It's not something we can avoid, or that he's dying, or I mean, if this, I hope Grace doesn't do this, because this would be like the most soap opera twist ever, that Alex is somewhere dying and he starts to write something to Meredith and he dies before he can send it, or something like that. Like, that would crush every ounce of my soul.
Oh my
God.
God.
Please don't do this, but I'm just saying, it's.
But at least it would be an ending that would make some sense, that he, you know, if her message popped up and he was dying, then he's not having to bring up a message to then try to write. That if it just popped up and he's just like, I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
No, at least that's not him deciding to just leave his wife and ghost her. It's not. If this is the route that they're gonna go, this next video next week is going to be a very different video.
It will be mad salty, but I think everyone on the internet will be mad salty if they just turn Alex into just a total jerk. This is another idea that I've sort of thought about, but it's still it's really half-baked. I mean, maybe you can help me with this, because I've tried to think about this idea of what if Alex found a different calling at some point. Maybe he was on the road to Iowa and he encountered something. Let's say his car broke down in some very, very low income community where there was a lot of people who were dying and couldn't afford health insurance, and he just ends up staying there and caring for all these people. Or maybe he hears from an old friend of his who is doing work in Africa and he wants to go and be a doctor there. Could he have some sort of midlife crisis, or maybe just a moment where he realizes he wants to do something different with his life, where he still loves Joe and he still wants to be with her, but it's something he feels like he needs to do right now? I mean, this stuff, it's understandable that people want life changes, but my big problem with all of this is obviously, why would you not just tell Joe that this is what you were doing if you loved her?
I was about to say, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, you've been married a while, even if you've been married a minute, like, you would just have that conversation to say, I've had this, I'm having my midlife crisis, or I've stumbled upon this town and it's become really important to me and I need to stay here. Then at least his woman has a chance to either say, you know what, I'm not able to leave my job right now, I want to stay here a little bit longer. Is that cool? Yeah, it is. Or, hey, give me the opportunity to also come to you. Like, if this is what you want to do right now, give me an opportunity to also see what it is that you see and let me come with you. I would find that also very strange, that you're not even going to have a conversation.
Is it possible that Leave a Light On is a reference to Alex saying to Joe, you know, I've started this new chapter somewhere else and I'm going to leave a light on here. I'm not moving on if you do decide you want to come and be a part of this. But once again, weird thing to ask of your partner in marriage without any prior conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but if he does, I mean, we don't have him, so there's going to be no phone conversation or anything like that. If he just sends that to her in a text and is like, hey, by the way, now I'm living in the middle of nowhere. If you ever want to show up, I'll leave a light on for you. I can see Joe then that's devastating. And we don't need to see her devastated again. And it sounds like they're not planning to try to do something where she's in a really bad state again, which is good. We don't need a repeat of that. So my theory is that he's missing. I think that this could just be a thing that it then leaves the door open for Grey's. Should Justin ever decide to come back for any reason, then they've left a light on for him. And if he's missing, then that is something that Joe can then decide to try to, pursue that for a little while, and eventually she will move on. And she won't be feeling like he abandoned her. Viewers won't feel like he abandoned her, that it's something else.
I would be intrigued by the idea of him missing, because you don't need to do the same thing you did with Derek. And no. I don't think you need to fundamentally make the character into a jerk. I just think that those two things are either too much rehashing or too much changing the character. If he is missing, I mean, they would have to find a way to do it. They would also have to eventually find a way to sort of explain why people aren't actively looking for him anymore. If they start to search for it, I mean, maybe it will always be going on behind the scenes. We don't really know for sure. The only other question I can think of right now is that I know that it sounds as though Justin is not going to be back, and I don't know if any of that footage, old footage in the promos, is even going to be in the episodes or not. Do you think there is a chance that Justin is going to be in this episode and nobody knows about it and they just haven't announced anything?
I don't.
I don't want to generate any false hope here because I haven't heard anything.
I just feel that because he left so abruptly that I can't see him coming back to do this. I have no idea why he left. Yeah. Nobody really knows what's going on. If it was just something with his family, something was going on the show. Nobody knows, right? Yeah. So if he left that abruptly, I can't see him then saying, oh, well, let me just come back and do this one thing.
I will give it a 15% chance. And that's either him showing up on screen or maybe they got him to record something and it will be like a voice message or something and we'll at least hear his voice one more time and have a little bit of closure. But man, I'm getting upset just thinking about all this.
Well, it's possible that they go through old footage and cut together a voice message out of other things that he said.
Yeah, those Frankenbites.
Movie magic.
Yeah, that has certainly been done before with a lot of shows. I think they've even done that certain points with Derek on Grey's already. So I certainly think that's something they could do. I think, we all have our theories about all this. We're not going to have any answers until Thursday. I mean, we will talk all of it through together. It's not going to be easy. But if you guys have any theories or ideas as to how you want Grey's Anatomy to handle Alex's last episode, let us know in the comments. And if you do like this discussion, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you here next time.